Good evening, everybody. It's David Schlotthauer here in the weather studio tracking Tropical Storm Erin for this evening on your Tuesday. Some of you watching this, it's Wednesday. But what we have right now is what appears to be Erin undergoing some deepening with its thunderstorms here as we are keeping an eye on this in real time. This is located roughly about 16.5 degrees north in latitude. And so the question really remains is whether or not this motion is going to continue. Now, in my own opinion, this is moving west now. It has turned a little bit to the west at around 270 degrees with decreasing in forward speed a little bit, while the NHC is thinking that it is still moving off in this general direction right now at 265 or 260 degrees in west in, well, about 260 degrees in directional in compass heading. And so, or the bearing would be that. And that's going to mean a whole lot here on how far south this is actually going to get. All right, because now it comes to like, okay, now that it's moving on this heading, how long will this motion actually do? If this is headed west already, which what appears to be it moving pretty much due west, it's very hard to tell right now. But either way, this is going to be a very strong system once it gets into the southwestern Atlantic. So this is what we have on the zoomed out satellite imagery, and we can see pretty much where we have Tropical Storm Erin way over here, pretty much in approaching the central Atlantic. We have an area to watch over here in the northwestern Caribbean. This could develop into a tropical storm. Some of the model guidance is indicating that as this makes its trek across the southwestern periphery of the Gulf near the Bay of Campeche in the next 3 to 6 days. So yeah, we may get some surprising development with that. And if that does develop into anything and it hits Texas, we will be going live on that too. And then of course we have another area of disturbed weather that is getting ready to come off of Africa. So pretty much the train, the African West train, is here to stay for a while. And if we actually look at, let's see if we could, let's see. All right. Alrighty. Okay, here it is. So let's go to our goes 19. Man, the way they made this really, yeah. All right. So we are not able to bring up satellite images anymore on this website. Let me go back and look it up really quickly. Go to here. Interesting. They took it away, actually. That really bothers me quite a bit. So let's actually go here. Let's see. The Hamari. That's what we want. Okay. So we want to see with what's going on over Africa, right? That's what we want. Middle East, India, no. North Africa, that's what we want. There we go. All these satellite images, they like to change on us. And so when we look further out in time, this is not the only system that will be following behind Erin. There are other systems out here. We have another area to watch. Well, not really an area to watch, but an area of interest that is being picked up on some of our global models. Another tropical wave over here. We got another tropical wave way over here that is also propagating in this general direction. And as this moves off of Africa, we will see whether or not we get some tropical development. But back to with what we wanted to look at here is our latest model guidance with Tropical Storm Erin, because everybody's curious about this. Although demand has decreased significantly, a lot of interest dropping off with this just because we do think this is going out to sea. And with my forecast, I am now predicting that this will turn harmlessly out to sea, and it does not look like it's going to impact the eastern portion of the United States any longer. However, that could change very quickly on a dime based on how far, again, south this actually gets. So as we take a look here at our icon model, with retrospect of how far south and west the icon gets, Erin. So as we play this forward here, we can see that this does get pretty close to these islands, uncomfortably close. We look at prior model runs, you can see it was a little further to the east, and the previous run was also in that same area. So actually handling this pretty dang well, if you ask me. But it is also weaker now, which is a good thing, because if this is weaker, it might not be able to strengthen as fast, and that's what we think might end up happening. But we are waiting for this to finish rendering, and right now it does look like it is a little stronger. Actually, this is notably stronger and actually a little further to the south, but it looks like a track. Based on where this is going right now, it looks like it is going to go out to sea on the icon model, which is great news to see on today's forecast. So we will be waiting and watching our other models come in. But anyways, how's everybody doing? How are you all enjoying the live stream? By the way, I want to give a huge shout out to Pat's Path Predictor. Boy, he had a lot of people watching him tonight, which is great. You got also a lot of donations. The icon is trash. Actually, the icon may be onto something. We'll see about the icon here. Has winds of 63 miles an hour at this given time. And so, yeah, so it is pretty much moving due north. That's pretty much where it's headed right now. So this is going to miss the United States on the icon model, but we will wait and see what our GFS, what our GFS and Canadian models are also going to all show in tonight's forecast. By the way, how do you all like my thumbnails? I have gotten overwhelming complaints about clickbaiting, so therefore I am going to have to talk to my staff team about changing my thumbnails up a little bit, just to due to the fact that there is overwhelming complaints out there on social media, as well as here on YouTube. So therefore, I do not know what else to do with my style of thumbnail making. But we'll see. We'll see about that. All right. Some people are saying that I'm frozen. Can you guys hear me? Can you guys hear me just fine? 1, 2 test. 1, 2 test. So, by the way, this is the latest track guidance from the National Hurricane Center. And as we look at this right now, it is pretty much moving, apparently, from the National Hurricane Center. This is what they hypothesize on, but I believe it's moving pretty much due west at this time at 270 degrees. So it's more than likely to be gaining latitude overnight tonight, and then probably going to end up being further to the northeast than what most of the models are indicating, just based on my hypothesis here. But we are looking at a major hurricane nonetheless. Oops. So it is showing a tropical storm here over the next 2 days, and then a hurricane by day 3, and then a major hurricane thereafter. Let's take a look here at the chances of tropical storm force winds. This is the latest forecast, and we can see still a non-zero chance of tropical storm force winds over Puerto Rico, as well as the northeastern portion there of the Lesser Antilles, such as if you are on the U.S. British Virgin Islands, as well as Antigua and Anguilla as well, including for maybe Dominica or Guadeloupe, that is, under the threat here for a slim chance of tropical storm force winds. But I want to make it clear, these are chances of tropical storm force winds and no risk of tropical storm force winds that are very likely. This is a probabilistic forecast as far as those chances go. And then looking here at what the latest is as far as the headlines here, key messages from the National Hurricane Center. Erin could move close enough to the northern Leeward Islands, Virgin Islands, Puerto Rico over the weekend to produce some impacts on those islands. However, the magnitude of these impacts is still not unknown, and interest there should continue to monitor the progress of this system. There is even greater uncertainty in what impacts might occur in portions of the Greater Antilles, the Bahamas, and the east coast of the United States, and Bermuda next week. As we approach the climatological peak of the hurricane season, this is an opportunity time to ensure your preparation plans are in place. All right, I wanted to make that clear for those that are watching, that make sure you do have preparations, because again, something more sinister could be following behind Erin's path, and that's why we're here live streaming too tonight, to look at our latest model guidance. Which, by the way, I wanted to show you all the intensity forecast here really quickly. I mean, this is, I believe, a little bit on the not really bullish, but some of these members up here, some of these model forecasts calling for a high-end Category 4, a Category 5 hurricane. I do not believe that's actually going to happen at this given time. And again, I am still on the low end of this, and I'm not too confident now, or as confident as I was before, that a major hurricane would be forming here. At the very most, I am expecting at least a 110 mile an hour hurricane in about 5 to 6 days, maybe even 7 days, because there is going to be some deep layer vertical wind shear and some dry air that could disrupt the inner core structure as we go out into this time frame. And so that's why I believe these models are very bullish right now. And I am, again, going to be quite generous here at indicating a strong Category 2 hurricane in about 6 to 7 days, with winds that max out at about 110 miles per hour. I'm a little lower than the National Hurricane Center intensity forecast for many reasons with that, and I would not be surprised if they lower their intensity forecast a little bit. But I do agree somewhat. Once the system, let's go to our ensembles. Once the system gets over here, perhaps there's going to be a small window to which Tropical Storm Erin could undergo rapid intensification, but it's not going to do it over here. I'm very confident in that. Even so, some of the members here are showing a hurricane. Some are showing a Category 3 or 4 hurricane. I just don't believe it at all at this time, just because of how dry the air mass is surrounding the system. In fact, you could even see it here if we go to our not that. Let's go back here, go to here, and let's go to Erin. And as we look at water vapor right here, this is what we need to see. Look at all this dry air out here, all this brown that is in the way of the system. Now, there is a fairly moist pocket here where the system is thriving within, but you can see underneath these cirrus clouds how there is a little bit of brown, indicating there is a little bit of dry air that is getting in the way of this. And that's why we are seeing some pulsating convection. Some of the convection dies or kind of bubbles up and then dies away. And that is because, again, we are seeing a system that is struggling out there. But yeah, as far as where Erin is headed, I am very confident this is no longer a threat to the United States, which is great news to see. That's the news that I've been wanting to hear for a while, that this is going to turn harmlessly out. In fact, the icon has this going pretty much due north and due north-northeast on its latest 174-hour forecast. This is a little bit, let's see, right here. So if we go to the 12Z, this is a little further to the west, though, so that is important to note. And then there's another tropical wave that we will really have to pay close attention to behind Erin. So here's Erin. Here's that next wave that comes off of Africa. So we are not done seeing anything out here just yet. So if we actually go back, yeah, there's the tropical wave right here. In fact, that's going to be the concerning factor as that heads west, and that takes a lot more time to develop. And as we play this through, you can see how it does get a little tighter. Look at that, man, that is really tight with its wind field. Take note of winds that are about, winds here are at about 30 miles an hour to the northeast of the low-level center. And here is Erin, being a very strong system with, again, winds of about 110 miles per hour. But I am pretty confident that this is not going to impact directly in the United States. I don't know what the icon is showing, though, but it's showing that the system is going to go towards the northwest at this point. I am throwing that out at this time because the system is going to do this, and it's going to turn north like that. Maybe even a little further to the north a little sooner. In fact, I would not be surprised if this gains latitude sooner and turns out to sea much sooner. Instead, more likely could impact Bermuda. And there is Bermuda right there. You can see where I moused over. Little baby Bermuda there on this map. So we'll keep an eye on this very closely. There's a 180-hour mark. We're going to watch the GFS. The GFS is starting to render right now. Let's see how strong it actually is. And wow, it is actually a little further. Let's see. Hold on a second. It is actually a little further to the north, which isn't too surprising given the fact that the system is pretty much right now moving a little bit more westward than what we previously thought. But we will watch this little tiny compact circulation if it can hold together. The NHC is not using the GFS in the recent run. Interesting. We're going to need to wait and see, though. Wow, this is a lot weaker. Oh, wait, no, it's not. It's actually stronger. But it is further to the west. Interesting. Interesting. It doesn't even show that turn happening until about 9 in the morning. We're going to really need to watch this very closely. Yeah, it did shift a little further to the south. Little to the south. But I am not agreeing with that. I really am not. But we will see. We will see. As you all know, I do not want this to hit the United States. I really do not. That's why I'm hoping this thing could actually turn northward sooner rather than later. Because if this turns north later, then there's going to be a lot of problems. There will be a lot of problems, but I am pretty confident that this is not going to directly impact the United States. And if it does, I will be very shocked. Everyone will be very shocked as well. Let's see. Yeah, see, it's already gaining latitude. It is further to the west. It is definitely further. But yeah, there has been a big downtrend on the GFS model today at showing perhaps barely a tropical storm here in 52 hours. In fact, I would not be surprised if this continues weakening from where it currently is right now. fact, I wouldn't even be surprised if it's a tropical depression with 30-mile-an-hour winds by maybe during the day tomorrow. Wouldn't surprise me. It really wouldn't. So, yeah. Are hurricanes sometimes unpredictable? And therefore, I'm going to actually look at my chat on my iPad. It's a little bit better for me to see. Yeah, hurricanes are sometimes unpredictable, especially this one, given the fact that right now, supposedly, it is moving pretty much due southwest almost at this point. But how long does that trend continue will be very important, because, again, the further south this gets and it makes a turn a little later, then this could end up further west and, of course, much closer to the islands here of the Lesser Antilles. But yeah, this is a tricky storm, but right now I am pretty confident that this storm is not going to be an issue at all. At all. What's up, Smoke and Swamp Outdoors? How are you doing? What's up, Nate? Hey, David, call on Discord. I am in the Discord, a live stream on my Discord server, Nate. Easy told me to go over there instead. So, yeah, you can join over there. But yeah, I'm being I'm a little conservative tonight, just because of what we have right now. Things have changed a little bit as far as this system goes. Much bigger downtrends, huge downtrends from the GFS. In fact, 06Z last night wanted a hurricane, which this whole entire time I did not believe. I did not believe that, and look what we have tonight. We do not have a hurricane. And instead, we have barely a closed circulation. What's up, Otis? How are you doing? What's up, Darnell? How are you doing? Odds, it hits North Carolina like 10%. Right now, it's about, I would say, low confidence. I'm not going to give maybe about a 5 or 10%. Thank you for the $5,000 donation. I don't know if that's in dollars. Someone could convert that with me. When hype casting is less destructive, I find it ironic. The weaker the storm is, the less northward it will go, and the more west it will go. So we want it to be super strong so it recurves quickly. Well, that's not necessarily the case at all. Even a weaker storm like the Euro has it. So if we do look at the 18Z Euro, it has a pretty weak storm over here. It really does. And yet that actually goes quite far to the east and hits Bermuda instead of it going further west. So at the end of all of it, at this point, it's going to be governed on the steering flow to the north of the system. Even so, this does go further west does not mean it actually is going to be closer to the United States. Oh, it's $3.80 after conversion. All right. So thank you for the $3.80 donation. I do appreciate it very, very much. Let's see if we can get 600 or 750 people watching this live stream tonight. I saw Pat had a very big audience over there. Congratulations to him. He is a really good meteorologist. By the way, he is a meteorologist, so a big shout out goes to him over there. But let's take a look here at our latest GFS, and right now, yeah, see, this is gaining latitude quite quickly. It's going in this general direction pretty much on the GFS. So even so it's weaker does not necessarily mean, okay, does not mean it's going to go further west. If you want it to go further west, it's going to have to go awfully far south. So it would literally have to do a track, something like this, and then go way down here and then finally go like that. and then that would bring it over the islands. So that's most likely not in the forecast tonight. Yeah, he has hit 13,000 subscribers, so a nice good milestone to pat out there. I want to thank you all, by the way, for getting me up to 50,300 subscribers, I think I'm at. I would have to actually check here on my iPad. But I do want to thank you all for getting me up there to a great big milestone. Let's see if we can get to 50,300 subscribers tonight in tonight's live stream. But yeah, I want to hear your guys' honest opinion while we're waiting for this. How are my thumbnails? I want constructive criticism. I want constructive feedback if you guys can. If you really don't like my thumbnails, please let me know, because I am getting a lot of comments complaining about how bad my thumbnails look. So please let me know, because I want to make sure they're realistic. There's no hype, no gripe at all, but apparently I'm still doing it, and I need to get down to the bottom of this so I can fix this in future videos, because this has caused a lot of people to leave my channel, to actually not return to watch me. So I need to fix this before it gets out of hand. They're all right. Okay. Well, Ryan, it's overwhelming. It's not just a few haters. There is a lot of people out there. There is a lot of people, and it's to the point where I'm going to have to talk to my staff team tonight about it. Ever since Evan Freiberger called me out, my channel has just went the other way. It really has. Sorry about that, Shane Bowers. Sorry about that. I thought someone was spamming in the chat. Two accounts have the same name. It's kind of identical. But yeah, we're going to watch the GFS. Let's see what the GFS actually shows over here. Yeah, it's too strong. 48 knots. It is still too strong in my opinion. This is it's going to be very weak. This is not going to regroup itself very much at all in the next couple of days at least, but we'll see how this ends up going as it goes to the north, just to the north of the islands. This has shifted a little further to the west though, so that's interesting. Let's get back to the chat here. Just crossed 50,000. Your thumbnails are fine, evidently. Evidently they're not. So. What's up, Shane Bowers? Again. And here's a funny thing. Other people do it as well. I don't want to call out YouTubers, but there are many YouTubers out there that do the exact same thing like me. And I do look at their comments, and I don't see any negativity with their comments. I really don't. So I find it interesting. It's only happening to my channel. What's up, Nate? Easy needs to get in here. We're in the live streams thing on the Discord server, since you wanted me to go in there. Let me put on my headphones, by the way. So, well, I'm gonna try to ignore them, most definitely. I have been trying to ignore them. But when I get so much overwhelming negative comments, then something needs to be done. Something actually needs to be done. And that's loud. If you need a talk, Nate or well, Easy's not in here. Your thumbnails look great. Well, in my opinion, they need more work. They need more work. Let's talk about Hurricane Erin. Oh yeah, we're talking about Hurricane Erin, but you know, this is the only model. Let's see what the 18Z or 0Z Canadian model shows. Yeah, the Canadian is showing the same motion, same motion. GFS is further to the south, though. Let's see. Yeah, GFS is actually further north. So just have to wait and see how this all evolves. But showing a 52 mile an hour, or no, wait, a 60 mile an hour tropical storm, I really doubt that. I think it's going to be a little weaker than that. More like about 45 to 50 miles an hour is what I'm thinking. GFS has a good, isn't as good when a system is actually formed. Yeah, it goes both ways. Our hurricane models, though, I mean, you guys got to ask, tell yourself, like, some of you are probably looking at these hurricane models and thinking that, let's go to the HAFS A on, I think this is what we are looking at here. Yes. This is showing a 140 mile an hour tropical storm. All right. 140 mile an hour tropical storm with a pressure of about 942 millibars. If we look at the HAFS B storm forecast, this is a whole lot weaker, way weaker. Actually wants to take 2 circulations on this. Crazy. 2 little circulations and orbit one another, which is probably an outlier, but it is a slim possibility. But this shows it being north of Puerto Rico. You can see Puerto Rico right in here, and it's showing winds of almost 140. That is pretty darn aggressive. I don't believe that whatsoever. That is very bullish forecast. In fact, so bullish that even if we look at our previous run, actually our previous run had a 135 mile an hour system. So this is actually a little stronger on this run. When will the peak season begin? In late August. That's when I think it's going to begin. Let's go to the GFS model, though. Yeah, there we go. That's a sector that I wanted. So it is further west right now, but I'm very confident that this is going to go right by Bermuda. That's where I think it's going to go at this point. I am leaning in that direction. I'm really leaning in that direction at the moment. But yeah, here's a look at the latest satellite imagery on our system. And yeah, it's looking a bit anemic tonight, as you can see there. As you can see there. There is a bit of thunderstorm convection going on, but it does look like it is no longer losing latitude. I really think that right now. So it's just a matter of which models will show what tonight. NHC has Erin at 40 knots right now. Yeah, that's 45 miles per hour. It's about 45 miles an hour. I think the intensity is a little too high on this system, though. It really is. And they were basing it off of how fast the system's moving. And they're thinking that, oh, there's tropical storm force winds on the northern side. I think 40 or so is probably more like what we're seeing, maybe even a little lower than that. But yeah, we'll just have to really watch this as the new model data comes in. Yeah, it's already going north-northwest. Hey, Easy and Nate, how are you all?
I'm doing pretty good, David. How about yourself?
Pretty good. Easy and Nate, this is going out to sea. I'm already predicting it on the GFS. It's going out to sea.
Yeah, I sent you a prediction in Discord. Definitely, I think this one is definitely going out to sea, which is a good thing. That's I mean, I was gonna text this in the chat, but now that I can tell everybody, this storm has kind of been a sigh of relief for all of the Schlotthauer crew. We do not want something to impact the United States or really anyone whatsoever, and hopefully we just got to worry about Bermuda now. But yes, we do not want anybody to get hurt in this situation whatsoever, and we appreciate you guys for watching, and appreciate you guys for subscribing and getting David to 50,000.
Nate just stole all my words.
Yeah, so this is Nate's prediction right here. He predicts that it is going to go out to sea, but surprisingly, just to the west of Bermuda. I think my track forecast, it's going to dip maybe a little south, and it's going to gain latitude faster and then go out to sea a lot sooner. Probably moving just to the west or east of Bermuda is where I think this is probably going to end up going. And if you don't believe me, well, let's actually go and look at our hurricane models. Oops. Bring that over here. If we look at our latest hurricane models, this is pretty much what we're looking at. Again, this track a little south of due west apparently will continue over the next 12 hours, and then it's going to gain latitude at the right time to where it's, I can't say likely at this point, but chances of this impacting the islands directly does not look likely at this time, with the turn to the north happening a little sooner rather than later. So right now, Bermuda needs to be watching this pretty closely, because this is a 7-day forecast here on our hurricane models, indicating that this would likely be out to sea, but not necessarily meaning that no one's going to get hurt. Bermuda is a small island and is home to more than 70,000 people. So because of that, we'll probably end up live streaming on that. Actually, in 7 days, I'll probably be working because it's going to be Monday in 7 days. But if this moves a little slower, then that would be a good thing. Well, not a good thing, but if this moves slower, then I'll probably be able to live stream if it happens like on a Wednesday or Thursday. What's up, Tyler M? How are you doing? So let's put this, let's go over to Weather Bell again. There it goes. Off it goes to the north. Off it goes to the north. Yep. There she goes. There she goes. It's further west, but still, I don't think it's going to get so far west where the United States needs to worry. I would not worry now as what we were thinking probably about 4 or 5 days ago. We need the Euro and Canadian because the GFS is a liar. GFS has actually performed the best on this. With intensity-wise, not so much, but track-wise, not too bad. I'm going to give it to the GFS, actually. GFS has actually done quite well with this system. Yeah, there's a Canadian already gaining latitude and actually is further to the east on this model run. So 2 models now. Yeah. 2 models indicating that this is going to is shifting to the east. Interesting though, the GFS has definitely trended west, but not so much so to where we're discounting an out to sea track yet. But anyways, if you all haven't been here before and you do find these tropical weather updates quite detailed, helpful, informative, and life-saving, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. The next goal, you name it, 100,000 subscribers is the next big milestone. And I plan on live streaming for that one as well. Like everybody would stream if they are not far from 100,000. So that will be the next big milestone. Yeah, 100,000 subscribers would be huge. Yeah, that's the goal. Easy over here did say that I'll hit 75,000 by the end of the year. I do not believe I will. That will happen sometime next year.
Guys, can we get some? I think who agrees that we can get some 75K? I think we can do it. Nate, do you think we can do it? I think we can do it.
Nate, are you over here?
David, you're discounting yourself too much here. You definitely can hit 75,000. Everybody in this chat loves you.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. 75K.
Well, it's gonna matter a whole lot if, again, if YouTube could push these videos out. They have not been doing so well recently, so makes it harder. But hey, I have to celebrate my 50K first.
I think your videos have been doing amazing.
Yeah. But this is going north already. This is going to, it looks like this is gonna probably hit Bermuda. Based on the latest GFS model run. Surprisingly, it's actually even weaker than the last model run. Yeah, so it looks like that's going north. Has the Euro come out yet? No, it has not. But yeah, I see myself hitting at least 60,000 subs by the end of the year, but not 75,000. And then by the end of next year, most likely I'll hit 75,000. Because I only gained like 25,000 subs in the last 365 days. So I have to kind of put that into consideration.
Don't forget to mention the Discord, David.
Oh, yeah. We have a Discord server as well. If you all want to check it out, it is Weather Force. Actually, easy. If you want to put the link in the chat, you can. We do have a Discord server that I would highly recommend checking out. I am not a meteorologist. No, I am not. So do you think it passes through Puerto Rico? No, it's not going to pass through Puerto Rico. This is going to go to the northwest. I'm very confident in that. I'm very confident. Dang, Canadian wants us actually further to the west. Interesting. Interesting. I do not know why the models have... I don't know. This is really, really, really... This is a tricky, situation right now. The NHC is agreeing more with the Euro, though. Well, yeah, the Euro is generally more accurate, but the GFS has done really good. Has done quite well. Yeah, there it goes. Goodbye. Nice to see you, Erin. Next up, let's look for any more systems behind that do try to develop. Does not look like we have anything on the GFS. However, this little guy over here, coming off of Africa, would be something to really watch. That's a nice, good little tropical wave. By the way, I sent out my Atlantic Hurricane Seasonal Forecast for... You guys don't have it, though. But it should be on the website very soon. But I do predict 11 to 16 named storms, a couple of less hurricanes, and still predicting at least 1 to 3 major hurricanes this season. Still going to hang generous. Still going to hang conservative. Yeah, this is already gaining latitude, just like other models. So, yeah, nothing hits the islands, which is what we like to hear. We want to hear about that. It's not going to hit the islands. Yep, there it goes. It's going to hit Bermuda. You watch. It's going to hit right towards Bermuda. And that's what I've been thinking this whole time. It's going to turn out towards Bermuda. I don't want that to happen. That would be a really big disastrous type hurricane. But that's what we're looking at right now. And you would really think Bermuda is not a big target for these systems, but yeah, they're right in that alleyway where these things could actually turn north and strike them. Did you see the icon yet? I did see the icon, and honestly, I do not believe it. I am not agreeing to the icon. I am being really honest. I am not trusting it. That is way... I mean, the fact that it's going this way means it gets very close to the coast of Cape Hatteras. That is a pretty much big outlier scenario. There it goes. It's going to hit right over Bermuda, unfortunately. So let's actually go over to... No, it's too small. Too zoomed in. But yeah, this is going out to sea for sure. There's a little island right there. A little dot is what we have as Bermuda. And it's going out and out and out to sea. Yep. That is a powerful hurricane. That is a powerful hurricane. And if this does hit Bermuda directly, we will be live streaming on it for sure. A couple of people are complaining that I am gossiping on the GFS. No, I'm not gossiping on the GFS. Based on where this is going north, and now it's turning to the northeast. So evidently this is getting very close to Bermuda. The AI model has another one behind this one. Yeah. There is a lot of uncertainty on that. Anything behind Erin at this time, which is a bit surprising given that we are in a favorable phase. But yeah. But yeah, how's everybody doing tonight? The artificial intelligence is basically the best model. No, it's not necessarily the best model out there. Yeah, I'm not trying to gospel on this system hitting Bermuda at all. Let's actually see. Okay, yeah, we looked at that, but this is the latest look at the Ensemble from the Euro, from the 12Z output. Now, if you guys ask me to put up the 18Z, I'm not doing that. And that is because the 18Z run can have its issues at the same time. Is it possible to forecast my season on the website? Yes, you would have to contact Louis. They should have an email over there on their website, and then you just contact the person. But she might interview you. Yeah, she's going to probably interview you. And so you'll have to answer a lot of questions. But yeah, this is what the Ensemble forecast from the Euro is showing. And yes, Bermuda is right there, and most of the tracks right in this little corridor. So where the GFS is going is actually realistic. It's very possible. It really is. And then you got another little group over here off the coast, which I'm not on that. I'm not really. I'm leaning more onto the GFS, this going out to sea safely. Because we've had a lot of consistency on that recently. Come on, GFS render for us. Yep, there it goes. There it goes. Man, you can't even get the center on here. It's moving so dang fast. Yeah, it's too fast. But yeah, that would bring in, it's in miles per hour. That would bring in tropical storm force winds, maybe briefly hurricane force winds on the island of Bermuda. So that's pretty much what I was pretty much predicting. I think I did a pretty good job at predicting where the GFS would have this going. And that has been very consistent. Very. Only the timing is off a little bit. Actually, this is much further west. Much further west, but still an out-to-sea storm. Still safely away from the United States. Now it's going to be worth watching the other models. What do they do? And it looks like our Canadian model is onto the same thing, that this is going out to sea as well. So, yeah. Storm reminds me of Elsa on how fast it's moving. Yeah. It's moving pretty fast. It really is. The GFS is realistic, but in reality, Erin is moving to the west, southwest, and even southwest at the moment. That's what the GFS actually shows, that the system is moving towards the west, southwest in the short term. It does take that into account. You can see that little move towards the general west-southwesterly direction, and then it gains a little latitude. But I am not as concerned about this as I was literally a few days ago. I really am not. And I'm even surprised I'm live streaming tonight on this, but I wanted to see how you all are doing. David, the NHC says GFS is an outlier. Really? Where do they say that? I would like to see proof of that. Let's see here. Erin continues to move quickly. Let's read this really quickly. And to follow up, what is the website to the forecast? Let me link it. The website forecast. It's this one right here. This is the forecast. I want to see if my name is on there. I don't think it is yet. Nope, not yet. They didn't update it. No, they'll update it tomorrow, most likely. So Erin continues to move quickly south of due west due to a strong, okay. In a couple of days, a weakening ridge. There are no significant changes to the long-range NHC forecast. And note that the G18Z GFS appeared to be a significant outlier and was mostly disregarded in this package. What? Wow. That is a first time that the NHC would call out the GFS like that. Significant outlier and was mostly disregarded in this package. And the new forecast remains interesting. So I don't know. I don't know. The GFS has been really wanting that alleyway over there in the Atlantic. Somewhere around that, and that would fit really well with the ensemble forecast. Most of the ensembles want it going out that direction. I mean, like right there, right to the west. So the GFS may be onto something. What are your thoughts, Easy and Nate?
Well, David, I think they just excluded the 18Z GFS just because it had it pushing more towards the west. But honestly, I kind of love the GFS for this system in particular. I think they've done a really great job at first on picking it up. And I really like that alleyway too. I don't really see this pushing too far off to the west.
What about your
Yeah, I
thoughts,
agree
Easy?
with Nate there. I don't really see anything that will make this system move to the further really south and west. I know that 18Z really had it pretty close to the the Antilles and stuff, and then it shifts up north, getting pretty close to the coast. But I don't see that as a really viable option.
No. Duran Belcher does not like the GFS. You mean, yeah, Easy, you made a mistake there. You meant had it going too far to the east. You said too far to the west.
Oh yeah, the west or the east.
Yeah, I'm starting to lean again on this, which is good. I'll tell you, it's a good thing this is going out to sea. Hopefully it misses Bermuda, and then we could watch it like a fireworks show from a distance and see the power of nature doing its thing over the open waters of the Atlantic. Although, watch out, boaters and any marine life out there. This is going to be a strong one, definitely. So goodbye, Erin on the GFS. Goodbye, come again some other day. But we're not done right here. GFS wants another spin up. Another spin up to happen. Yep, there it goes. Another spin up waiting to happen right here. So we are not necessarily done after Erin. I am afraid to say that. Everyone's focused on Erin, but probably in a couple of days here, once this gets north of the Antilles, probably going to stop focusing on Erin and then really start focusing on what's behind Erin if model trends continue. Because if we look at the ensemble forecast, you're going to go crazy, people. You're literally going to be like, yeah, nah, yeah. Let's take a look. The European artificial intelligence first, and then we'll look at the deterministic forecast. So there goes Erin, the cloud of possible outcomes, and then what goes on after that? There's another increasing signal overall out here for the potential of tropical development. Mainly over here is where we're going to really need to watch things closely. All right. And that's pretty much what we have here on the ensembles, on the member group here, indicating that additional development could occur by the 22nd and the 23rd of August. And that's what the global tropical hazard outlook actually illustrates. We go and look at that, go to here. Ooh, I'm zoomed way in. It does highlight generally that area on the 27th, beyond the 27th, and then the 20th still includes all in here. Now, because the GFS is the GFS, long-range stuff we can't rely so much on. But once something forms, yeah, look at that. Yeah, that thing is forming. Once something gets going, then GFS handles it quite well, as good as it can. But until something, excuse me, until something actually forms, it's a mystery. It really is on the GFS. But there is another system. Here is another system coming off of Africa. And I'll tell you right now, the MJO is in a very, very conducive phase for continuation of or tropical genesis in the Atlantic over the next few weeks. Okay. Unlike, past systems, it's a one and done deal. It may not be that way. It may not be that way. And so, sure, Twitter is going to be blowing up here in the next probably about 4 or 5 days. In the next 7 days. Once we know where Erin's actually going to go, people are going to be like, oh, what's behind Erin? Well, yeah, maybe seeing some activity popping up. And this is also gaining latitude. But see, it was not there. So the 0Z picking up on that, though. That's worth noting. That really is. That's what our 500 millibar chart looks like on that. Interesting. That could even go out to sea. Let's see what the Euro shows tonight. Man, the ridge out here in the Atlantic is so dang weak, though. It is not strong at all. In fact, this is the weakest subtropical ridge I have ever witnessed in a while. I mean, there is essentially no ridge out here. I mean, nothing. Looks like actually fall is coming on this model. Oh my goodness, it's going crazy. There's an X on it. Yes, I am aware. The Belize area. GFS does not indicate that will develop at all. No development on that system. Actually, you know what? Let's go back. Something did. Yeah, there's a little bit of something right here that tries to percolate. And then, yeah, okay. So while we're waiting for let's look at our Canadian model in the meantime. Yeah, see, Canadian is right where the GFS has it. Only the center passing just off the coast of Bermuda to the east, where you have that center. If we look at Bermuda, there is low-level circulation moving on through. So there seems to be some consistency here between these two models. Let's see what the Euro shows. And that is a powerful system. That would be a tropical storm. Not as strong, though, as it is on the GFS. Yep, there it goes. Also gaining latitude, finding its alleyway. I'm really wondering if we'll get a lot of fish storms this hurricane season. It looks that way at this point. We had Barry. We had Barry. Now looks like Erin's going to be a fish storm. Dexter is a fish storm. And now we have this next system potentially on the GFS very far out in time, but this is just inside the 10-day forecast showing also a fish storm. Unless that ridge strengthens, yeah, this far out in time, there's a lot of uncertainty. But there is not much ridge out here. You can see, like, on the GFS, it's pretty dang weak. You got a ridge over here. You got a ridge over here. And you got a trough right in the middle. To me, it looks like this is more of a negative or a positive NAO that is setting up, where you have this ridge that's weakening out here in the North Atlantic. But it has not been consistent, so I'm not going to say for sure. But there has been a notable trend towards a stronger trough up here. Unless this ridge sneaks on to the north, see what the low-level ridge looks like. Let's see if it can catch a hitchhike in getting this flow here. The thing could actually turn back west, which is also a consideration. By the way, if you have not been here before and you find these tropical weather outlook and discussions, including live streams, please subscribe to the channel. It really helps out a lot. Also, make sure you do hit that like button and ring the bell notification icon to get all of my tropical updates. See, that's not turning north as quick as I thought, so it could get underneath this ridge again. This ridge could retrograde. Interesting. Wow. Very weird model run, though. Very strange. Will this be a hurricane before Friday? The system that we're looking at, no, I do not think so. I am really in doubt right now. Probably a very strong tropical storm with 65 to 70 mile an hour winds. The AI model is the best model than the GFS. I don't know. See, I'm in the middle with AI models until there's a lot of scientific research. The fact that the NHC has been using it in their last two discussions means business, that actually they're trusting something. But I am really on edge with AI stuff when it comes to modeling, because it's only a couple of years old. So, yeah, we'll see what this latest once this GFS stops rendering. It's going to be a while, though. It's like the ridge wants to build north of the system now. Interesting. Interesting. But that weakness really is there. But of course, this is one model run. I'm not going to take it for granted at all. I cannot wait for our artificial intelligence model to come out, though. That is for sure. Can't wait for that. And its Euro model as well. There will be additional disturbances coming off of Africa, though. That is for sure. Like, look at here. Here's another disturbance coming off of Africa. Of course, we got one right here. So sorry I'm not talking a lot. There's just not a lot to do. I feel like I uploaded way too much today and I filled you guys too much with content. Until this storm really becomes a threat, I'll probably hold off on the morning video tomorrow. So when I saw that trend to the west last night, I was like, ooh, probably going to have to push out a morning video. Doesn't look like, unless the Euro surprises us, we'll see. I'm going to stay up until the advisory. Well, the advisory came out a little while ago. The next advisory is not until about 5 in the morning. That's like 2 in the morning my time, so it's not going to be for a while. Thank you, Trip. Glad you like. Wait, the 2 a.m. advisory, so they're actually going to up their production. Really? No. Let's see. No, it's 5 a.m. 5 a.m. is their next advisory. Not. No, next complete advisory is 5 a.m. Not, there's no intermediate advisory. Yeah, it's 5 a.m. So, yeah. Yeah, there it goes. That's going north, so yep. That's just on one run. I'm not trusting it. I am not trusting it at all. No. I'll definitely be going to bed by 2 in the morning, my time. Unless you guys want me to upload in the morning, I don't know what you guys think about that. David, show the moisture of rain next week. The system's not going to be impacting land, but I could show you the rain anyways. And this is on the GFS. And this is over, let's include Bermuda. So Bermuda on this model would get a foot of rainfall with that system in total. Versus prior model runs, it's just all over the place. All over. So the southeast is going to get a little bit of rain in the next 10 days, but that's about it.
Hey, David, I'm sorry for interrupting. I'm just seeing a lot of things going on in chat. I would just like to remind everybody to be respectful to one another. Everybody is entitled to their own opinion, and we're here to just talk about the weather. We're not trying to bicker with anybody, or everybody in chat should, everybody's entitled to their own opinion.
So why is it on my streams I get more people that are like this? Come on, people, be respectful. Come on. You guys like me to live stream, but I could always take that away. Is it too early for the peak of hurricane season to begin? It's a bit early, yes. Doesn't really begin. The peak of it really won't begin until about the 20th of August and beyond. Did I look at the icon? Yes. For those people that are just tuning in, let's take a look at the icon model. I really do not agree with this one. This is really far to the west. It really is. I mean, and at its current heading, it would literally come very close of hitting Cape Hatteras. I mean, come on. That is really, really, really far west. I do not believe it at all. I mean, at this point, now I do believe the intensity, it's calling for a 106 mile an hour hurricane. But I'm not agreeing so much on the track yet. What's your opinion on the HAFS A? Look at the intensity. Yeah, the HAFS A is, yeah, I don't, literally, oh, Zero Z's, whoa, the Zero Z model's coming in. Oh, we've got something to watch now to keep you all entertained over here. So the HAFS A is coming in as we speak. As we speak. See if this is actually further to the south. And it is not. It is pretty much a little further south by a little bit, but not by much. Not by much at all. And it does appear this would lose latitude a little bit more and get down to about 16 degrees north in latitude. We're just going to need to wait and see on how strong this actually gets. I'm very curious. Let's look at the hurricane season activity graph. It's very inactive. GEFS 0Z is coming in. Ooh, let's take a look at that. Let's take a look at the GEFS Ensemble forecast. It's 3 days out. Did this go further south or further north? Let's take a look. Further north. It went further north by a little bit. It actually did. Look very closely. Yep. So it thinks it's going to gain latitude a little faster. Yeah, it's been trending that way. Just a matter of how far will this get before it makes that turn. We'll see if that has shifted west. Zero Z. HAFS models are rendering. Let's take a look at the H-Wharf. Not on my end, they're not rendering at all. HMON, is the HMON rendering? Nope. Not yet. Not yet, at least. We only have our 0Z HAFS model in right now. Nate, can you... I see people disagreeing with each other. You there, Nate? All right, I guess no one's here. So, yeah, let's see what this is showing. I mean, this is a little aggressive. I still think it's aggressive. It does show, though, that there would be 61-mile-an-hour winds on this, so... Thank you, Chazard. I do appreciate it. I have the same people watching me as Pat's live stream. I sure do. But only Pat had a lot more. He had like 600 or 700 people watching him. I want to give a big shout out to Pat, though. He really did good tonight. He really did. All right, let's go and look at the GFS once again for future. And that's going out to sea. And this ridge up here is very, very weak. Crazy, crazy. Actually, that could actually bend way back down to back to the west, but this is in Fantasyland. This is 300 hours out, so I'm not really focused on something that far out. But it's something to kind of look at to kill time. Yup, Canadian is already agreeing on that system that the GFS was agreeing on. Look at that sucker. No, I did not cuss. If it sounded like it, sorry. But yeah, there it is. Coming off of Africa. GFS has something similar in about 10 days. Only a lot weaker, though. Much weaker than the Canadian model. Very interested in this little area right over here, too. This little tropical wave that's approaching the Leeward Islands or Windward Islands. Can't wait for that APHIS to come out. That will come out in about 20 minutes or so. 20 minutes. 20 minutes. What's up, Nick Smith? How are ya? Oh my gosh, I have so much people trolling in the chat. Stop, please. Thank you. If I'm making you guys feel bored, just let me know. Because Well, Resend, how are you doing? Welcome, welcome. Hello, all. Thank you, Kathleen. I need the euro to render. I need the euro so bad. Is the euro that's best model generally? Yes. The euro has the best model in general. But the Canadian's done rendering. The GFS has another big hurricane. See if this ends up a big talk. I bet you it will. I bet you it's going to. That's a big old fat ridge up there to the north of the system. That would actually likely direct the system towards the southwestern Atlantic, where we do not want it to go. What wasn't very nice, David? That's in the chat. But yeah, Easy and Nate, after the live stream, I will need to talk to you. It's pretty urgent. Thank you. Thank you for the $3 donation. I do appreciate it. Yep, there goes a system on the GFS. We're just waiting. We're just waiting over here for the euro and the artificial intelligence model to actually render. Because, yeah, there's nothing, no new model to look at other than the Ensemble from the GEFS that we could actually look at, which is out to 90 hours. And actually, this wants to bend back to the west a little bit. Interesting. Interesting. The good news is it's a little further north, so. If the GFS called this an outlier, why are we still using it? That's the 18Z run. And the Canadian model is also on board. So we'll see what the euro shows. That's going to be the big one tonight. HAFS B is up. HAFS B is up. Let's look at the latest HAFS A, though. And the HAFS A does not show much strengthening, but it is stronger than the last run. It is stronger. But yeah, anybody watching this live stream, please have full respect on my stream. If I look at a model that you don't like, then you don't have to be here watching this. It's all up to you, because I'm looking at I want to look at a model and not just look at the same old model forever and ever and ever. Because we're focusing on what models are rendering right now, and the GFS is rendering still out to 330 hours. Wow, this is interesting right over here in the Gulf. Little bit of a little spin up there. A little bit of vorticity. It's good to be curious, yes. Literally, I mean, because where is Erin on this map? I mean, Erin's out to sea. Now, if Erin was going to hit the coast, then that's what we would really be talking about in this live stream. We would be giving you all the rundown details on who's going to get hit, what time you're going to get hit, and why it's going to happen, you know. But this is an OTS, an out to sea, although Bermuda still needs to be watching this really closely. I took care of it, Nate. Person's gone. The Euro does usually a better job on a reading high pressure systems than the GFS. I pretty much agree with you on that. When once those models come out, we will start looking at those. This is basically the waiting game. Let's see what the HAFS A shows. Yeah, the HAFS A is not gaining any latitude on this. It's pretty much where it's going to be for the next 30 hours. So all the way through tomorrow afternoon, it's going to be pretty much at around 16.1 degrees north in latitude. This is further to the north a little bit. Yeah, it is still a little further to the north than the previous model run. Love your channel, my man. Keep doing what you do. Do you think County, Florida will see any affected? No, I don't think Florida is going to be affected by this at all. I know there's still a couple of people probably asking that question, will Florida be affected? And it does not look like Florida will be affected no longer at this given time. Once something changes, I will be here updating you all. But here's the latest system. We have not looked at this in a while. And this is what the tropical system actually looks like right now on imagery. And it looks like it is still losing latitude. We will see how far south this actually gets. What's up, Bay Area Racing? How are you doing? Thank you so much. I'm glad you appreciate me very, very much. We are actually at 50,300 subs sharp. So thank you guys for subscribing very, very much. What will happen if the system goes much further south and west than expected? I think it's still going to gain enough latitude that it should spare the eastern United States. It should spare the United States safely. And it should go out to sea. The only thing that would make this hit the United States is if the system does not have any deep convection, it is exceptionally weak, it's barely a swirl, and it follows the low-level trade wind flow. But that's the system right now. And there goes that system right there on the GFS going a little cuckoo, little crazy at showing the system literally doing crazy things, literally out of ordinary. And that is the full GFS model run, by the way. So showing a hurricane out there still, potentially. How long am I streaming for, Easy? I'm going to be streaming until at least 10:45. Is that okay with you? Because I do want to talk to you for a little bit. And Nate. I'm hoping Nate is still going to be on. Where would you say the center is at longitudinally and latitudinally? So let's take a look here at where I think it is located. Can bring up, what did I do with the imagery? Darn it. Oh, there it is. So right now, I would say it is located about 16.5 degrees, or actually about 16.2 degrees north in latitude, by about almost 41 degrees west in longitude is where I think it's currently located. But here we go. The European model is about to come in very soon. The artificial intelligence. That will be a fast model run. But geez, what in the heck is the GFS showing here? Why would it show hurricane literally barely gaining latitude and going that far despite it? All right, that's fine, Easy. I only have a few minutes to talk, but it is urgent. It is quite important. You're very welcome, Tim. I appreciate it. Yeah, GFS shenanigans, I agree. Hey, it reminds us we're not done. We are not done. Seeing development behind Erin, at least in the GFS's eyes. That's what it looks like. Of course, there is a lot of variability, so don't take this seriously. This is literally 384 hours out, but to kill time, to kill something here, we are just scrolling through different models, especially the HAFS model. We're waiting patiently for that model to come in, which should start rendering here very soon. It's not going to be long. Erin was shown 300 hours out. Well, that doesn't mean the GFS shows something 300 hours out that is believable. Because it comes down to where, because that is based on that area of spin. That's in 5 days, though. That is in about 5 days from now. But if we look at prior model runs, it changes. There's a lot of changes out here on that system. I would like to see more consistency before making conclusions that, oh, we'll have more development. But yeah, that's the GFS run. It is done finishing. Now we're going to move on to our European model. Artificial intelligence, we are going to be waiting for that. That will be the next model to come in, and then the European model as well. It was shown 300 hours out hitting Florida. Yeah. H-Wharf is rendering. We'll look at that in a little while. Man, the hurricane models take forever to come all the way in. Well, the HAFS B is a little further at 51 hours, showing a system that is generally a little further, wow, way further to the north. Way further to the north and stronger. So it does appear that this will miss the islands. But the hurricane models are very aggressive, very. And I just don't see this thing becoming a hurricane in a couple of days. I just don't see it happening. But we are literally about 5 or 10 minutes away from the next model to come in. Is Florida in the clear or not yet? I would say Florida is in the clear. We will need to wait and see what the artificial intelligence model shows. It's going to be very important. All right, Nate. Thank you for letting me know. And that's why we need to talk about that tonight. I'm actually concerned about my channel at this point. I really am. So we will need to have an emergency conversation with me, you, and Easy. And it is mandatory, so thank you. There is no way it goes due west. Yeah, at this point, it looks like it's going to gain latitude. But yeah, there it is. Pretty strong. Looks like where Erin is going, too. Kind of a copycat system on the GFS, only coming in from a different angle of attack. Jackson, what's up? Is Virginia in the clear? The Virginia area is mainly in the clear for right now. Yes. You need a ticker tape at the bottom saying Florida is in the clear. Well, a lot of the ticker tape stuff is mainly for when it comes down to live streaming coverage on a hurricane or tropical storm. I will actually have that. So therefore, I won't have it in these kind of streams. These are discussion live streams. You came off as an honest man. It'll be all right. Thanks. Yeah, any YouTube channel saying this is going to still... Oh, here's the APHIS. Are you all ready? Are you all ready for this? The artificial intelligence model is right in front of you. Let's take a look at it. It's currently rendering right now. You're serious? Oh, wait, hold on. Oh, that's the next. Oh my gosh. Literally, I thought if you look at this carefully, you follow the system, I thought that was literally Erin. I'm like, whoa, no. Erin's not going to be that weak. Man, that APHIS model, dude. I'm telling you. It really, really thinks that system's going to be right in that same spot over the last 5 model runs. A whole day's of worth of model runs. Boom, 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 boom. Literally, it thinks it's going to be right in this general area. Wow, I wonder what this is going to do when if it does get into where we don't want it to go. But this is still coming in. A lot of skipped frames here. See, David, I don't lie. Well, I'm not saying you're lying, Drown Belcher. I'm not saying anything like that. It's just that AI, to me, is a little bit in question than the numerical stuff. Let's see. Ian says there's like a 0% chance it hits the US. Yep, that's what it looks like here. The AI model has shifted to the east. So it looks more likely than not this will be an out-to-sea storm. I will tell you, I will give you all the credit. You know, some of you were saying that, David, you watch, this is going to be out to sea. And this thing had just moved off of Africa. I'm like, how do you know it's going to be out to sea? Well, looks like half of you in this chat give yourself a round of applause. Because that's what it looks like that this system's going to do. Yeah, I'm not going to listen to AI until it proves itself. We'll see what the Euro shows. That will be our ultimate decision tonight. There is another little wave right here, though, that the AI keeps picking up onto. By the way, Ian, let me ask you this question. How did you know this was going to go out to sea this whole time, though, since it left Africa? Boy, you could be a weather model in yourself. The Ian 1131 model. Did you look at the winds in front of this system blowing north to south? Yeah, but that really doesn't matter. It's the deep layer steering flow that you really need to focus on. Just because you have northerly flow in front of the system does not make the system go further south. But I would agree with you because you know what? That really sticks out. Because if you look at the image, there's not much southerly flow on the back side of this. So you're seeing less south wind here, but much more north wind here. That is actually a good find because that could mean the difference. Probably why this could be losing latitude still. I am Chronicle though. Okay. So let's look at the HAFS again. Still doing its job. So there goes our system out to sea. Safely out to sea. And then here comes our next system that is in question. Definitely in question. Right there. Erin, before it was officially designated, did cause 9 fatalities in the Cabo Verde Islands. Oh, wow, Titan. Thanks for letting me know about that. Well, hey, you don't need a system. You do not need a system in the United States to cause fatalities. All you need is for it to not even develop. Yeah, a system that had not developed yet caused fatalities. That is very unfortunate. The 0Z HAFS model look unrealistic intensity-wise. Probably means it's too strong, right? 97 on the HAFS B model. Let's see the HAFS A. Let's see our HAFS A forecast. Yeah, still not believable. I'm still not believing that yet. Erin is already a deadly storm. I agree with that one. That's a strong system. It is significantly stronger by a big margin. Oh my. A big old fat margin. We need aircraft out in this so we can get an idea where it's going to actually be headed for sure. All right, the HAFS or the artificial intelligence is officially done rendering. And it still wants a tropical storm, if not a hurricane, in southern Florida. Man, the artificial intelligence does not want to let go on that. Literally the last 5 model runs. It really thinks a system's going to be here in Florida. I can see this is why I'm very, very, very skittish on AI model. I mean, literally the last 5 runs, it has a tropical system there. That is crazy stuff. I don't believe this at all. I do not. Not yet. Not yet. The good news about it is at least this doesn't show a hurricane, but unfortunately it shows quite a bit of rainfall happening over Florida if that actually pans out. So, man, AI is going to be a big test, but AI did not do good on Erin at all because the AI model trended further to the east. Why is it over here and not near Florida? Well, because it's not very accurate, very far out in time. It's now gets it right because all the other models are on top of it. Not saying the AI is 100% wrong, but it can do better. It literally can. Now, at the same time, we have our European model that is rendering. Let's see where this is at. Is this further to the south or north? It is further north. It is further north, just by a hair. It has not changed. It has not changed at all. So, we do think it is going out to sea at this point, inevitably. I do not see this a U.S. threat anymore. There is pretty good confidence tonight. Euro renders very fast, so that's a good thing. So now it's going to become very important what goes on out here. Out here in the MDR behind Erin. Because with confidence, fairly, it's not 100% confidence. Nothing's 100% here, but I feel pretty good about this one going out to sea and not causing any impact to the United States. I will probably do a couple more videos on Erin, though, and then we'll probably shift gears off of that. Once the turn to the north actually occurs, and then if this does threaten Bermuda, like it hits the island, then we will be going live on YouTube. We will go live on YouTube. I'm praying so hard it doesn't hit the United States. Oh, I'm sure everyone's praying at this point. Let's see what our latest GEFS ensemble shows. Shows. This did shift generally westward since last night's 0-0 run. Can you guys see this? Are you seeing this right? Or are my eyes playing tricks on me? Are my eyes playing tricks on me? Look at this. Is that a westward shift on the ensemble forecast? Wow. Interesting. Well, we will see what the GEFS ensemble shows once it renders out to 10 days. That is crazy. Literally, when I open my mouth too early, the GFS wants to be like, oh, we're disagreeing with David. We're going further west. But which makes an operational GFS. Golly word, that is a big outlier then if that actually comes to fruition. Man, the operational GFS needs some work done. All of your ensembles GEFS are literally, come on, they're further to the west of your operational. Fix yourself. Anything's doable. Now it really comes to fruition. The ultimate decision will be led up to our European model now. Whether or not, how far west this is really going to get. We might see the models do like a little windshield wiper. What's up? Oh no. Yeah. CGFS was unrealistic. Even the 0Z is a bit too far north. Yeah. Man. There's so much divergence with this tonight. I thought there would be a little bit of a shine of light tonight. But I don't think we're ready. I mean, still in theory, some of these members are pretty dang far west, now threatening the Bahamas. If I swear, if we see ensembles doing this, like going all the way out here or all the way further to the west, do more tracks like this, wow, I'm telling you. That looks a lot further west compared, really even the 06Z run, it's even further west than that. Oh yeah, look how far west this, or south this actually went. Yeah, the system's about right in here. Wow, it really is going to come down to weakness, how far west and south. They seem a lot weaker too. I'm going to have to wait for the for more frames to come in. Okay, no, they're starting to turn now. So I think a sharp turn to the north here would still keep the US pretty clear. But just because I say that doesn't mean it's actually going to happen, but most likely it will. Yeah, Euro and GFS. Let's see the agreement here. Man, no, Euro wants to agree with the GFS. Yeah, look at the consistency right here. Let's see where the Euro had it in its 12Z output. There is some agreement. Yeah. There is agreement. Euro being a little further to the west, though. GFS being further to the east, just by a little bit. It is a bit faster, though, on this forecast. But once it goes in this general heading, it's going to miss the United States. It really is. Let's go, Euro. Yeah, here comes your next tropical wave right here. Next tropical wave coming off of Africa. We're going to look at this whole map. It's a lot better than just looking at a sector. But yeah, how's everybody doing tonight on your Tuesday night, Wednesday morning for some of you? Again, if you haven't been here before and you do find these tropical updates very helpful, informative, life-saving, as well as detail, I just said that twice, please subscribe to the channel. It does help out a lot. It really does. Can't wait to get that reward with a 1,000 subscriber placard on it. What's up, Potato Head? Oh, love your name. Potato Head. I'm Mr. Potato Head. And there you go. There is our little system that tries to develop on the Euro down the road. But not as strong, meaning it goes further west. That is a large system. Very large. Yeah, there it goes. You can see it going out to sea. You could already see it go out to sea. So all models tonight, not much different. Not much different. We have pretty good agreement that it is going to go out to sea. Who's interested in purchasing merchandise? Ooh, nice voting time. Please don't troll the poll. Please, once you voted, the vote sticks. Think hard before you vote. Thank you. So 50-50 on the merchandise. 30 votes, about 24 to 26 votes already. It's not going out to sea. Thank you, Weather Boy. How are you? This is going out to sea. Yeah. Yes, it sure is. And here comes our next system right here. You could already tell it's forming on the European model. Goodbye, Erin. It was nice knowing you. Go out to sea and not bother the United States. We will see you in 6 years. 6 years. The same list will be used again. Bye-bye, Erin. Nice try getting as close to the United States. Looks like you're not going to get too close. So there goes the Euro. Goodbye, Euro. Goodbye. Bye-bye on the system. 2031. Yes. David, what about Google AI model? Again, any of the AI models are in question. I need to do a lot more research and figure that out, but those are up in the air. Very much so. All right. So concluding this live stream, I still see a marginal potential threat along the far eastern coast of the United States, but I am honestly not as concerned about it as I was like 3 or 4 days ago. All right. When the system was over here, like coming off of Africa, remember that when it did that, I was a lot more concerned because, again, we did not have as much model data over here or as much data at the time to get consistency. So now we have a lot of consistency that this will safely turn to the north way before it hits the United States. So if you're wondering, will this impact my area in the East Coast? The answer is most likely not for right now, unless something really mysteriously changes, but I don't see any of that happening right now. Now, of course, as always, before I do in this, be careful who you watch on YouTube, honestly, because they might still say, oh, it trended south or it trended west again. Okay. They're doing this to get views. They're doing this to fearmonger and cause hype. All right. So just be careful who you watch on YouTube. I can't tell you guys to not watch that YouTuber, but just be careful who you watch out there, because I like to make sure we are honest, truthful, and life-saving here on the channel. All right. But otherwise, oh, before I go, let me check the HAFS really quickly. Let's see. The HAFS still like a major hurricane in about 4 days. Not in my world. It's going to become a major hurricane. Let's look at the storm or the HAFS A model. 130 miles an hour. Get out of here, HAFS A. Literally, get the heck out of here. It's not going to be a category 3 and 4 hurricane. Literally in under 4 days. Oh, man. The intensity forecast was looking a little more straightforward. Now it's all a mess. It really is. All right. Yeah, I'll look at your messages, Logan, in a bit here. I have to actually jump into a call with Easy as well as Nate really quickly. Then I have to call my friend Andrew about the synoptic setup going down the road, so we can give you that information in tomorrow's video. I don't think I'm going to have a video out in the morning unless I look at the ensembles and they still have trended a little further west. Then I might scoot something out tomorrow morning at about 3 in the morning. I don't know, though. I'm not guaranteeing it, but otherwise I will have a tropical outlook and discussion out tomorrow. Now, live streaming tomorrow night is in question. It really will depend and come down to what our latest models are showing. Will this go closer to the coast? Will it go further offshore? Right now, the way it looks, I don't see myself going live tomorrow night unless it's absolutely necessary. But once again, folks, please don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel. Check out our merchandise. If you want to purchase a nice, great shirt, a magnet, you can go check it out on the store on my YouTube channel. But otherwise, share, like, and subscribe. And let's get me up to 75,000 subscribers by the end of the year. Supposedly, what easy peasy and what Nate was saying that, hey, we can get David up to 75,000, but you guys have to help support me in getting me there. But thank you all for watching tonight's live stream. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out.